Bhaktivedanta Swami Nitinamine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desatarine Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Iti Namine Shri Vashabhanavi Devi Dayatya Kripabdaya Krishna Sambandha Vikyana Dayane Prabhave Namaha Namo Gaura Kishoraya Sakshar Varagarya Sambadi Padam Bojayate Namaha Namo Bhakti Vinodaya Sachitananda Namine Gaura Shakti Swarupaya Rupa Nuga Varayate Vaibhav Bhavistvam Nirdesta Sahajana Vaishnava Savabhoma Sri Jagannathaya Te Namaha Sri Jagannath Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Hare Krishna everyone. So we continuing remembrance of this great Vaishnava Acharyas, great personalities in our tradition. It is important that we remember these great personalities. They leave a deep impression when they come on the planet and leave some variable instructions. And to observe these festivals, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur has sung Madhavatiti Bhakti Janani. Anyone know what that means? Yes, so Madhava is Krishna, Haribo, Shri Krishna Bhagavan Ki. And Titi means festivals. Titi means auspicious days. And Bhakti, we know what Bhakti is our devotion to Madhava. And then Janani means the root, or this will help flourish our bhakti. So all of us are here in the process of trying to be Krishna conscious. We're all here trying to somehow or another connect with Krishna. And we try in different various ways to connect with Krishna. It's not always easy to connect with Krishna because, as we know, Adibautik, Adidevik, Adiatmic, there's so many different challenges we have in life. So not always easy to connect with Krishna. Sometimes we don't feel like chanting our rounds. How many sometimes feel like that? I do. Sometimes we don't feel like getting up for Mangalati. How many of us feel like that? Definitely me. But how many of us always feel the need for prasadam? Yes. So, Krishna consciousness is a difficult path, but these special days, these utsavs, they open a little bit of extra mercy to try and nourish our devotional kripa. Every day is a wonderful day in Krishna consciousness. Every day is a blissful day in Krishna consciousness. But these days, Madhavatiti, these days which are where the acharyas appear, where Krishna appears, then the mercy flows. How many of you, maybe when you were younger, when you celebrate your birthday, how do you normally feel? Good? Happy? Excited? Everyone is happy on their birthday. So in the same way, Krishna is also a person. So when it's his birthday, he also becomes very excited. He also becomes very happy. So in the same way that Krishna is happy on his birthday, all these different acharyas, they give out extra blessings, extra mercy. When there's nice cheesecake going around, who wants second helpings? We all want second helpings. So on days like this, there's extra cheesecake for everyone available. But it's up to us to take advantage. It's up to us to try and take advantage of these wonderful days and therefore soak ourselves in this wonderful special mercy, kripa, that's bestowed upon us. So today we are observing the disappearance of Rasikananda, who is one of the eternal associates of Lord Chaitanya. He appeared 1652 and he came what we call as a Kayasta family. So that's not a Brahmin family, for those of you who don't know. But yet he was on a very, very elevated status. So sometimes these great personalities, they don't necessarily take birth in maybe what we call a Brahmin family, maybe what we call on a high class kind of family. They take birth maybe not so much in this kind of situation. But what is the lesson to be learned when these acharyas, these great personalities come in this form, in this family? Yes, Krishna consciousness is not designated to your birth. It's not designated to where you are born. It's not designated to the caste you come from. Many, many great Vaishnavas, they come from so many different backgrounds. Narottam Das Thakur himself, Srila Bhaktivedanta Thakur himself, the great Namacharya Haridas Thakur himself, they all come from different kinds of family background. And our esteemed ladies over here, they come from different backgrounds. We have Germany, we have 2 Germanys, is it? We have Scotland, we have somewhere, we have Bengal, is it, Prabhuji? Bengal, where Lord Chaitanya took his appearance, Srila Prabhupada. So all varieties, Vaishnavas, they come from all different places. And anyone know who Rasikananda's guru is? Sorry? Shyamakund. So they were the followers of Jiva Goswami, these great personalities. And Shyamakund was the guru of Rasikananda. How many of us are looking for a guru? One. You looking for a guru? You're looking for a guru? Yep. So it's not always easy to find a guru. It's difficult way to try and go through different situations to try and find a guru. And we pray hard, we pray earnestly to try and find a guru, because guru is very important, because he is the one that connects us to Krishna. We cannot directly go to Krishna, we must have a guru. Rupa Goswami is one of his top 5 principles is we must have a guru. Unless we have a guru, then it's very difficult to connect. So Rasikananda was looking for a guru, and he was not finding much joy in finding a guru. So he was praying and praying and praying, I need a guru to help me. And then in his dream came a great personality. He said, you go to Vrindavan and you find this great personality, Shyamananda, and he is going to be your guru. Haribol! Anyone got a revelation in your dream who your guru is like that? I actually had a revelation. Would you like to know what it is? I'm not trying to say I'm an elevated person, but you do sometimes get a revelation, the Guru comes. So some of you who might know, there was a little bit of a difficult period ISKCON went through. And I had lost not one, but 2 gurus. And you can imagine I was a little bit despondent. I was a little bit upset, to say the least. So somehow or another, I had my faith in Prabhupada, I had my faith in Krishna. And then the new letters of Srila Prabhupada, this was back in 86, the new letters of Prabhupada's came. They weren't so available. Nowadays with internet, everything is available. And then I was reading these letters, and I was upstairs. I was living in the ashram upstairs. And I was reading this book, and there was one letter that Prabhupada wrote to Dhananjaya. It was a nice long letter. And then in my mind, as I was going to sleep, I was meditating, and I was thinking, Dhananjaya Prabhu is so lucky to have a nice letter from Prabhupada, direct instructions. And because I was a little despondent, I was thinking, I don't have that same situation. So with this kind of thought in my mind, I fell asleep. And sometimes when you fall asleep, you have this situation where you're half asleep and you're half awake. Have you ever had that situation? So you're kind of, but then you're going in and out of a sleep, and you know your surroundings. So I was going in and out of this sleep, and then I heard this noise, tuck, 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 tuck. So some of you who might listen to Prabhupada's conversation might know what this noise is. What's this noise? Srila Prabhupada's cane. So then I could hear this in the background, but in the distance I could see Dwakapuri. I could see Godruma. So where is this noise coming from? Am I awake? Am I sleeping? And then again I drifted back into sleep, and the cane got louder and louder and louder. And then when I opened my eyes, guess what I saw? I saw Bhaktivedanta Manor key. And it's exact that same spot over there in the corner where Prabhupada's rose garden is. And I saw Prabhupada walking with all the devotees in the corner, and I was by the theater, and then I couldn't believe my eyes. I saw Prabhupada over there, and I recognized some of the devotees there, because I've been coming around. I recognized Tamal Krishna, I recognized Prabhupada's servant, Hari Sori, I recognized Brahmananda. I think you can't fail to recognize Brahmananda. And then, because I was thinking I was sleeping and I was somewhere in another world, I was thinking, this is not real. I was thinking, Srila Prabhupada has already left. So with that kind of arrogance, I went, and then Prabhupada was in the middle, then I pushed Brahmananda, and I said to Brahmananda, Prabhupada has left the planet. And then Brahmananda looked at me and says, what are you talking about? And then at that same time, I saw a cane come right up to my chest, and it touched me. And it was Srila Prabhupada looking at me. And Prabhupada said, I have never left you. I am always here in my instructions. If you follow me, I'm always here. Then the cane went down, and the devotees gathered around Prabhupada, and the noise went tuk, tuk, and Prabhupada carried on walking around the manor. And then I woke up, and the book was on my chest. So the spiritual master he can come and reveal to you. So Rasikananda, he went, and there was a kirtan going on there. So we experience nice kirtan. When Govinda sings, we feel great happiness. When Kripamoya sings, we feel great happiness. Different kirtans, great happiness is there. And this kirtan was going on. And then Rasikananda went to Shamananda. He said, I got a revelation that you are my guru. And then Shamananda embraced him, and then accepted him as his guru. Shyamananda thereafter preached vigorously for how many years? Anyone know? 40 years he preached all over Bengal, Orissa. And he was specifically known to preach to the Mohammedan community. And of course, there was one person who was not so happy that the Mohammedans were getting interested in Krishna consciousness. So he devised a plan where Rasika was preaching. Then he brought this big elephant. And this elephant was intoxicated. I'm not sure what they gave him. But elephants are not the best creatures to come and cross your path with. But imagine if it's like an intoxicated elephant. And the trainer told the elephant to charge towards Rasikananda. So imagine you're over there, a mad elephant is charging towards you. I'm not even going to try and imitate making an elephant's noise. And how many of us, when they see an elephant coming towards us, are going to cack it? Most of us. But Rasika, he stood his firm, and then the elephant saw Rasika completely calm, not disturbed. It calmed the elephant down. So watching a few documentaries, if you ever face a lion, if you ever face a tiger, they say, don't be disturbed. Look straight back into the lion's eyes. Look straight back into the tiger's eyes. And if you got that firm look into the tiger will stop in his tracks. You try out next time, yeah? But because of Rasika's purity and calmness, the elephant calmed down. And now this is a little bit mind-blowing. The elephant became the disciple of Rasika. So can you imagine that? So we also have a situation where Narada Muni, he has many disciples, but he's also got one animal disciple. Anyone know? The cobra. He has one disciple who is a cobra. So this cobra, what are cobras generally known for? Biting. So Narada Muni told him not to bite. It's not a good thing to bite. But when you have a soft, tame cobra, then what are kids going to do? Stake this, throw stones to it. So when Narada Muni came, he had all bruises. Then Narada Muni asked, what's going on? How come you got all these bruises? He says, well, you told me not to bite, and all these kids are throwing stones at me. And then Narada Muni said, well, next time these people try and disturb you, you don't bite them, but you just raise your hood. Anyone ever seen a cobra face to face? I have. Few times in India and in Africa. So when you see that cobra, you scoot the other way. You don't look it into the eyes. Tiger, okay. Lion, okay. But cobra, no-go area. So then he preached, and then it is said that when he came towards the end of his Leela, then he went to a famous place where Shira Gopinath is installed. Ladies, do you know what that place is? Gentlemen, do you know what that place is? Raimuna. Yeah. What did I say? Okay. Anyway, excuse my Sanskrit. So he went there with 7 disciples, and then he stayed there. And it is said that he saw the beautiful eyes of Gopinath, and then he turned into flower petals. And it went into the deity. And then if you go there, there's the 7 disciples, and Rasika's Bhajan Kurti is there. You can go and visit it. So that's a little bit about Rasika. Nanda Prabhu Ki. Today also is the disappearance of Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj. So we'll also study a little bit about him. He appeared in 1780. And how long do people live this day in Kali Yuga? 70 years? 80 years? 100 years, yes. If you live 100 years, you get a letter from the Queen, isn't it? The King these days. Congratulations. But Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj, give or take a few years, lived 140 years. 140 years. And it said he lived so long that his eyelids couldn't even stay up. He has to be held up. We'll explain that a little bit later on. Not so much is known about Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj. Most of the pastimes we know about him is after he met Srila Bhaktivedanta Thakur. He was 100 years old when he met Srila Bhaktivedanta Thakur. And they met in Vrindavan. It was an Ekadashi day. And then on Ekadashi day, what generally happens? Feasting and fasting. Chanting. Hari Katha. So it is explained that that first meeting, Bhaktivedanta could see that this is a great personality. And on that Ekadashi, all night long, they talked about Krishna. Anyone ever had that experience? Yogi? So you can imagine great saints, when they come together, they have so much to discuss. Krishna's pastimes are unlimited. So one night is not even enough to discuss the pastimes. And then almost 10 years passed. Almost 10 years passed until they met again. And it is explained that Srila Bhaktivedanta Thakur gave a special title to this great personality. What's his title? Vaishnava Sarvabhauma, Commander-in-Chief of all the Vaishnavas. There's many Vaishnavas here. We're all gathered over here. Many, many wonderful Vaishnavas are here. You can look at each other, give them a little wave. Very, very rare Vaishnavas, not so easy to find. Many great exalted Vaishnavas were there during the time of Bhaktivedanta Thakur. But there's something when one Vaishnava shines a little bit more. There's something when one Vaishnava, he seems to attract other Vaishnavas, and he displays some extraordinary qualities that raises him to slightly higher platform than the other Vaishnavas. From the 6 Goswamis, we know it. From the Gopis camp, we know it. Srimati Radharani. Of course, this is a little bit debatable, but from Srila Bhaktisiddhanta's disciples, for us, of course, is Srila Prabhupada. So there's different Vaishnavas which have some special, extraordinary qualities. And Bhaktivedanta Thakur could see that this Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj was super extraordinary and gave him this name. And when we say his pranam mantra, it's there. That is the commander-in-chief. Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj, as the name implies, was not a sannyasi. Before Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, the Gaudiya tradition is that those who are on this path, they would take the Babaji Avesh. The Babaji Avesh. Ladies, do you know what that means? It means that you give up any designation that we might put ourselves into. We're not a Brahmin, we're not a Vaishya, we're not a Sudra, we don't put those designations. And we even renounce the Brahmin thread as well. Because even the Brahmin thread categorizes in a certain caste. So when you accept Babaji, then you have no designation whatsoever. You belong only to Krishna. So Babajis, they live a very, very super austere life. So Chaturmasya, you know what Chaturmasya is? It comes in the rainy season. There's a rainy season in India and generally it lasts for 4 months. Lord Chaitanya in the rainy season when he was South India, where did he stay? Sri Ranganath. He stayed over there. And generally those who are renunciates, Babajis, they take a little bit extra austerities. And in this way they increase their bhajan and reduce their bodily needs. Now take a note of this, ladies. So it is explained that Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj on the first month of Chaturmasya only ate 4 bananas a day. Not even 5. Not even Oliver Twist. Can I have some more? 4 bananas a day. This morning it was 12 o'clock and my mind was going wild. Prasadam is 1 o'clock. Honestly. And I was thinking, shall I go back home and cook some pasta? Shall I go to the shop and then buy something there? I already had breakfast, but I couldn't control my senses. Then I said, let me just go and sing the arti and control my mind. So 4 bananas is not going to cut it for me, I'm afraid. All right, so we failed that one, at least I did. The second month, he only had what? No. He only had guvavas. 4 guvavas. Actually, it doesn't say how many, but we'll take a little hint. It's 4 from the bananas. Guvava, it's a good question. So it's a kind of a yellow, pinkish fruit. Has loads and loads of seeds. And you can use Google Translate. It looks like pears. It tastes yummy, yummy. And Rubicon, they're not paying for me, but they make an excellent drink, guvava. Okay, so anyone can survive 4 guvavas after surviving 4 months? No? Okay, moving on. Now you guys think that was austere. On the 4th month, he only drank whey. That's way out there, isn't it? What is whey? It's when you get milk and you curdle it and you get the paneer that Kiran loves so much. And what's left over is the whey. And that's all he had for the 3rd month. Whey. Then, for the 4th month, I'm not even going to go there because this is getting too embarrassing for me. So I think we'll just move to the next part. Only water, yes. So these are the Babajis. So if you're thinking of taking Babaji Avesh, anyone thinking of taking Babaji Avesh, Prabhuji? You look like one. A little bit of an inside hint. This is what you have to prepare mentally and physically. Bhaktivedanta Thakur was once approaching Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj, and he says that I want to give you some money. I want to give you some dakshin. What did Babaji Maharaj say? Supposing someone is giving you a thick wad of 50-pound notes. Here you go, Jagat Priya. 50-pound notes. What would you say? Jagannath Babaji said, no, I don't want it. Because Bhaktivedanta Thakur, he was quite wealthy because he held the highest position any Indian person can hold in the British government. He had a house in his own place. He had a house in Mayapur. He had a house in Jagannath Puri. He had a house in Calcutta. So straight away, he had quite a few houses. So when Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj was approached that he wanted to give some dakshin, he said no. All he said is just make a little bhajan kutir for me so that I could chant. Now when you take Babaji Avesh, Prabhuji, prepare for this one. If you think eating is going to be hard, then prepare yourself mentally. Well, generally a Babaji normally does. So Jagannath Babaji Maharaj would chant 300,000 names of Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. 300 times, 300,000 times. So one devotee asked Prabhupada, is it all right to chant fast? Prabhupada said it's okay to chant fast as long as you're listening to the Maha Mantra. He says minimum should be 5 minutes. If you're doing under 5 minutes, it's machine gun japa. If you're taking more than 8 minutes, then it's dive bomb japa. So Prabhupada said 5 minutes, and if you calculate that, 300,000, how many rounds does that come to? So that comes to approximately about 190 rounds a day. Who's struggling with 16 rounds? Who's going to struggle with 190 rounds? So then Prabhupada asked the devotee to calculate, and with 5 minutes, around 190 rounds takes 16 hours a day. 16 hours a day. So if you sleep 8 hours, that's it. You can't do anything else. As soon as you get up, you get again to your rounds. As soon as you finish your rounds, and sleep. So that's the same amount of Haridas Thakur would also chant. He would spend 6 months of his time in Vrindavan and 6 months of his time where? In Mayapur. 6 months in Vrindavan and 6 months in Mayapur. So in this way, this is how we divide his time, spending time here and there. So a couple of pastimes of Jagannath Das Babaji. Once his servant was sweeping. So what's the job of a sweeper? Huh? The job of a sweeper is to clean. So then Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj went to this sweeper in Vrindavan and he touched his feet. And then the other Vaishnavas found out that Jagannath Das Babaji, an elevated soul, is touching the feet of a common sweeper, not good. Shouldn't be done. So they approached Jagannath Das Babaji, said, you shouldn't touch the feet of a sweeper. And what was Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj's reply? His position is so elevated that he is sweeping Chintamani dust. If you can be the sweeper of Vrindavan, sweeping Chintamani dust, then you can touch their feet. Another time, Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj was there. If you're an animal lover, who's an animal lover? One person. If you're I'm not talking about your kids. Oh, okay. If you're an animal lover, then you might like this pastime. So Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj was chanting his rounds. So in Vrindavan, what do you normally find there? Puppies, dogs, hogs. So some dogs and puppies, they came towards Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj. So at least in the West, when you see dogs, they look a little bit groomed. They look a little bit cared for. But when you see the dogs in Vrindavan, they look like, not so pleasant, at least with the eyes. So the servant was shooing the dogs away. And then Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj chastised his servant and said, don't ush them away. They are residents of Vrindavan Dham. You have to respect them the same way as any of the Brijbasis. Whether they have a body of an ant, whether they have the body of a dog, whether they have the body of a human being or a Babaji, in Vrindavan, everyone is special. And Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj saw that with his transcendental vision. One of the most important pastimes connected to Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj was when Bhaktivedanta Thakur, he was not so happy or he was not so sure where the birthplace of Lord Chaitanya was. When Bhaktivedanta Thakur was present in Navadvip, you've been to Navadvip, anyone? In Mayapur, you catch a boat and you go across, and then that's Navadvip. And Mayapur is on this side. So there was a temple there, and it was established that this temple was the birthplace of Lord Chaitanya. However, if you read the descriptions in Chaitanya Charitamrita, in Chaitanya Bhagavat, it doesn't quite seem right, because Jagannath Mishra's house was on the other side of the bank of Ganga. So Bhaktivedanta Thakur wasn't too sure. So then he looked at some old maps, he did some research, he asked a few people around, and then he went to where the present day Yoga Pit is, and he went over there and he noticed it was a place where people would go and just do their bodily activities. Bhaktivedanta Thakur was a little bit surprised. Then he inquired what this place is and who owns it. So in the conversation, it turned out that this belonged to a farmer. And then the farmer was trying to grow some crops. That's what farmers do. So when he was trying to grow some crops over there, no corn would come out, no wheat would come out. What came out instead? Tulsi. No matter how hard the farmer tried, he couldn't grow anything. Only Tulsi grew. So he thought this place was haunted. So then he just left it for people to do their bodily needs. But when people went to do their bodily needs there, then a big fire from earth came, burning them. So this place was disregarded. Then again, after careful search, and then he was in Navadvip. He was in a Dharmshala with one of his sons. I believe his name was Kamal. And then he saw a light in the distance. And that light was shining in this one particular place. Of course, when you see something like a mirage, or when you're in a desert, you see an oasis, or when you're driving on a long road, on the road, it looks like it's watery there. So sometimes we are illusion. That's one of the defects. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur thought he was seeing some glare in the horizon, maybe the northern lights or something. So he asked his son Kamal to come over. And he said, "Do you see that light over there?" And he said, "Yes, I see that light." So then he wasn't having some optical illusion. And he could recognize that place to be what? The same place where he did his research. So he researched carefully. He found an interesting story about this. He found maps, all conclusive truth leading that this could be the place of Lord Chaitanya's birthplace. So then he decided to take Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj. It is said that he was so old that he could not walk. They had to carry him in a basket. So they didn't have those, I don't know, anything, mobility things or whatever. They had to carry him in a basket. So then they took Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj. They take him to the place where Bhaktivinoda was believing to be the birthplace. And then as soon as Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj arrived there, he was 126 years old. Now we have a hard time after class getting up, isn't it? Oh, yeah. We have to touch someone's shoulder and pull ourselves up. 126 years old, and Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj jumped out of his basket and shouted, "Ye ke Nimai ke Janmastan hai. Ye Nimai ke Janmastan hai." Translate, Prabhuji. You can do it in Swahili. Sorry? This is the birthplace of Nimai. Haribol! So this was confirmed by Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj. This was the actual birthplace of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And then Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj gave an instruction that you must open this place to the public so everyone can know where Lord Chaitanya appeared. As they were digging up the foundation of this place, of course some people didn't want to believe this. So as they were getting the foundation, to confirm this, they found a very, very special deity. What deity did they find? A Dokshaja Krishna. And lo and behold, a Dokshaja Krishna was the worshipable deity of Jagannath Mishra and Sachi Mata. So this was the same place their house was built. And over time, Mayapur got flooded. We see Ganga constantly moving up and down. When there's floods coming, we saw the front of the lawn flooded. So floods, rains constantly come and change the course of the rivers. But finding this Adokshaja Krishna, and if you've been to Yoga Pit, have you been to Yoga Pit? You can see this Adokshaja Krishna there on the altar. So these are some of the great qualities of Jagannath Babaji Maharaj, some of his pastimes. And he lived a very, very renounced order of life. With anything in life, it is important that we not just interested in the Vapu, but we're interested in what? Vani. Vani is the most important part of a sadhu. Vapu will come and go, but the Vani will always stay. So these are some of the things we can learn and meditate today. Number one, never meet or associate with monkeys. Wearing the dress of a renunciation, who are hypocrites, holding on to ulterior motives for wealth, women, and prestige. So we see that many, many people, in the guise of renunciation, they pose themselves as renunciates, but yet they live the life of luxury. There's one particular person in the 70s. He claimed to be a guru, but he had 186 Rolls Royce. And then the journalist asked, is there a need to have so many Rolls Royce? Will you stop? And he said, no. I need 365, one for each day. So these are the type of people Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj is telling us not to hang around. They pose themselves as renunciates, but actually they have some ulterior motives, because no other way can you become rich than just pretending to be a sadhu. People will throw money at you. People will give you so many dakshina and things like that. Never take the food of a sense enjoyer, otherwise you will become one. So it's very, very easier. Jiva Vegam, Manasya Krodha Vegam. The tongue, it's very easy. It likes eating nice food. Who likes eating nice food? I prepare my meal for the week on Sunday night. So I like eating, I'm not going to lie, and my body shows it. But here Jagannath is explaining that if you take the food of sense enjoyer, then you become one. And who would we classify as a sense enjoyer in this kind of a situation in our modern times? Sorry? Yes? Generally, restaurants are the places where this sense enjoying takes place. By the mercy of Gora Dharma, one will obtain residence of Vraja. So although all our associates are all gopis, all in the mood of Radha and Krishna, you cannot enter into the pastimes of Vraj without getting the mercy of Gora. Through Gora Dharma, then you can get Vraj. When we were a young devotee, it was always important that we went to Mayapur first, get the mercy of Lord Chaitanya, and then you would visit Vrindavan afterwards. There was one young devotee over here. He wanted to go to Vrindavan, During opening time, as a hustle and a bustle, everyone's going to India, everyone's booking a visa, everyone's booking a ticket, and then you want to go also. So this was a young devotee, he was only in the movement for 6 months, and he decided he wanted to go. So he asked the temple president, can I go to Vrindavan with the other devotees? And the temple president said, you can go, but you're not quite ready. Solidify your Krishna consciousness, get a strong foundation, and then afterwards you can go. But he didn't listen to the instruction. He just booked a ticket and he went to Vrindavan. He arrived in Delhi. He came to Vrindavan. He took a lassi. He went to his room. And he never left his room after 30 days. For 30 days he was sick. And he only saw the rotating fan. Tuck, 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 tuck. So you cannot buy a ticket to Vrindavan. You can't make your own arrangements. So the day his flight was to be, the next day he got better. He didn't see any part of Vrindavan. He only saw the four corners and the fan. Now this is a tough one to chew. Get ready for this one. Who likes suffering? Come on, you like suffering. Worldly misfortunes should be considered compassion of Bhagavan. Ooh, stinger. Oh, that hurts. Worldly misfortunes should be considered the compassion of Bhagavan. When things are not going good for you, Krishna is smiling at you. When things are going good, Krishna's got his back on you. So when misfortunes happen, it means that Krishna is taking a direct interest in you. Why? Because you will turn to Krishna. If your life is all honky-dory, if you live in the life of Riley, would you think of Krishna? No. Only when you're in a suffering state, when you're in a difficult situation, when you're in a misfortune, will you think of Krishna. Unfortunately, that's the way it is. So these are instructions to remind ourselves that Jagannath gave. One cannot be called a sannyasi simply by taking the exterior cloth of a renunciate. One is not a sannyasi until love and attraction of Sri Krishna's service has appeared in his heart. So sometimes we might have a tilak, we might have a kantimala, we might have a dhoti, we might have a sari. That does not mean we are a bhakta. Does not mean we are a Vaishnava. We're on the right path. It has to be from the heart that you have love, attachment for Krishna and the holy name. Number 6, although illness that gives suffering to the bodies of those persons desirous of performing bhajan may be present still, because they do not take rich, delicious foodstuff, automatically sickness will go away. Listen to this. Luxurious gentlemen continuously take rich food, thus illness stays with them for a long time. So if you eat rich food, if you eat a lot of paneer, Kiran, then you will get bodily discomfort. The simpler you keep your diet, the healthier you will stay. You are what you eat. You stuff your face with loads of aloo parathas, there's going to be a price to pay for it. How many did you have? You're paying a price. Keep an eye on it if it's a Mangalati tomorrow. Don't eat too many luxury food. Lord Chaitanya said that if we are mad after sweets, then it is very difficult to be in renunciation. We love our gulab jams, we like our rasgullas. We have to restrict it to 1 and not go for 3. What number are we on? 7. I did service. Thinking like this, one should not beat drums of the glory for himself in his mind. Such a person is not called a servant. So when we do something, we don't proclaim ourselves that we have done something. Oh, Jagat Priya, yay, I've done this. If she knows, it doesn't know, it does not matter. Who knows? Krishna, He's in your heart. So don't boast what you have done for Krishna. Because then whatever you boast, it will just go away. Oh, this is a nice one for the gardeners. Planting eggplants and watering them for service of the Vaishnav is more auspicious than carelessly chanting lakhs and lakhs of Hari Nam. So if you're chanting loads and loads of Hari Nam, Hare Krishna, and they're careless, better to go in the gardening department, because devotees like fried eggplants. You like your Panchatattva. They're not good for brahmacharis. Number 10, don't imitate the Vaishnav or you'll be burnt to ashes. Pray for the honest service. So sometimes we see a Vaishnava, we want to try and follow and be like him. We're trying to copy his classes. We're trying to copy the way he shoots out the shlokas. Don't try and copy a Vaishnava. Be who you are. Just as Sri Krishna is the topmost amongst all the Bhagavad Gita Tattva simile, Rupa Nuga Vaishnava is superior to all other Vaishnavas. We're very fortunate Srila Prabhupada comes from Rupa Nuga line. You are all very fortunate that we are in this line. When there's a diamond shop and there's a plastic shop of jewelry, who's going to get the most customers? The plastic shop. Accessories, that's what it's called, isn't it? Always loads of customers. But the diamond shop, very, very rare. So Krishna consciousness is like a diamond. Rupa Nuga followers are like diamond. Okay. Those who are householders, the duty of all householders is to accept the shelter of lotus feet of Sadguru and engage in the service of Shri Giridhari. So you accept the service of your Guru and worship Krishna. 17. The essence of the instructions of Sriman Mahaprabhu is to perform kirtan of Sri Nam without offense, which is Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So we should constantly chant the holy name. Following Shri Ekadashi, I know we have a hard time following Ekadashi. But we should follow Ekadashi and stay awake and chant the names. Okay. Shishi Radha Gokulananda ki, Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman ki, Shishi Go Nitai ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Sarvabhauma Sri Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj ki, Shri Tirubhava of Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj ki, Nitai Go Premanande.
Shiva Jaya Jaya Gaura Chande Arati Shobha Oh Jaya Shiva Jaya Jaya Gaura Chande Arati Shobha Jagamana lo